Hello everybody and welcome back to Blastermaster02. We are out of this ship. We'll be coming back here later, but we don't have a reason to yet. So this video is a bit shorter than some of the others, but that's mainly because we're going through a couple of places here where I expected to die more. And this is one of them. Because this entire area is all about jumping across ladders. The timing on this is a little bit finicky, and for most of this area you're going to be doing jumps that will kill you instantly if you fail any of them. The timing on these ladders is a little bit finicky. You actually have to tap the up button, and sometimes holding up doesn't actually help you. And that's the first set of ladders. Time for the second set. You have to be careful not to bonk, but for this last jump you don't really have to try that hard because there's water there and that negates impacts. And all that for a life up. Which I still want anyway. The way back is much easier, but there's still this jump which can kill you. Now, this was incredibly dangerous, but I wanted that life up to face another thing we're doing in this video, which is also incredibly dangerous. That's the only thing we can get from there. So now let's poke around and see what else we've opened up. Now we're going to be heading to Area D. We don't have to go there quite yet, but I want to. Hey, we unlocked a planetoid here. Now let's get in there. Oh! Well, this is unfortunate. See, we can't go left. Uh-oh. Something tells me this guy isn't entirely stable. Something tells me this guy is a little bit off his rocker. Okay, Metal Attacker 07 Garuda. So this guy has a bunch of attacks. Number one is his dash attack, which you can easily counter with the charge tackle. Second is this spread shot. Third are these homing lasers. And fourth are these mine pods, which make maneuvering a bit more difficult. The main thing about Garuda is that there's never really a time when you fight him that you can just really pile on damage for the most part. Except perhaps when he's doing the ground dash, but even that's a pretty small window. However, it's not particularly durable, so you do more per hit than with other bosses. Oh, you're going to hack the boss's machine? Wonderful! I mean, it'll be a while before we get to Area G, but... well, all the same, we managed to fight him off. Yeah, Area G is basically endgame stuff. So let's explore the other planetoids in D1. So there are a few places we can go on this particular planetoid. To the left will get us a couple of these enemy rooms. This one is fairly basic. Enemies will just teleport in it from very specific points. And it's not dumping any particularly difficult enemies or enemies that you haven't fought before. This room is just like the previous one, except there are now flame projectors. So, good luck, buddies. And there we go. A new planetoid map? And if we get up here, we get another boss. This is Octababy, and like it says, it just shoots more of its little flies and whatever than Hexababy did. It's still roughly as durable. However, the fact that there's more stuff floating around in this boss battle means that the impact weapon is much more useful. And down he goes. More energy, another planetoid map. And this is another enemy room, but there's only one enemy. But it's a pretty nasty one to face with just your blaster rifle on foot. The best thing to do is just hide in this corner and jump and shoot until the enemy dies. It'll take quite a few hits, but you've got all the time in the world because this is a safe spot. And this is that increases our maximum energy. Okay. I can live with more special weapon energy. Especially since the consequences of running out are pretty heavy. So we opened up planetoids D2 and D4. And both of them have things that I want. So we've got ourselves a dungeon here, and oh, there's a life up right there. We fell. Okay, we just take out all of these turrets. And there's a save point, hidden behind 2 keys, and we only have 1. For most of these dungeon bosses, I'd be willing to pass on this, but for this one, I want that second key. Should be around somewhere. Ah, there. There we go. So... Uh-oh. Hey, Virgil. You bet it is. Okay, Leibniz. Leibniz is incredibly dangerous. His counter windows are extremely tiny, though there are big rewards for getting it. All of his attacks do 2 damage, whereas everything up till now has only done 1. And he has quite a few attacks to throw at you. And he's also fairly durable. The thing is, if you do manage to counter his whip attack, there's a very high likelihood that he'll be stunned, even if you've done it successfully a couple of times. The thing about his reflector shield is that if you shoot it with most things other than the wave blaster, he'll just collect shots which he'll dump into you. However, if you do make it so he can fire, you can do a acceleration counter on him. His collisions with you only do 1 damage, but that's the only thing that does 1. Countering him is high risk, very high reward. You got something you want to talk about? So, anyway, we get his Reflect Shield. Which will allow us to do some interesting things later in the game. But even though we've dealt with Leibniz, we're still not done exploring around here. This place has a couple of things that we want. First, another life extension. I may have made the Leibniz fight look not that tough, but the experience of me and other people who have played this game is they're like, oh, okay, this game isn't that bad, and then they fight Leibniz for the first time and get completely steamrolled. Oh, a room full of easy targets, no problem. Yeah, I was just thinking about this for reasons, but while Garuda is a fairly fragile boss in his home game, you know, this one, if MA07 Garuda was in Super Robot Wars, it would probably have 6-digit hit points and a barrier. Oh. Yeah, the speculation I see from everyone who's encountered Leibniz for the first time is that there may actually be time travel shenanigans involved in this game. But we're going to see what the truth is eventually. So now we can head off to Area E. Well, we don't have any planetoids here, so let's make planetfall. Okay. New planet, so new talks with Eve. Oh. Yeah, because Eve is part mutant right now. Yeah, she's telling the guy who dived in a wormhole after a frog not to do anything crazy. Yeah, I forgot to talk to her about this thingamajig. What are you thinking of? Oh! Oh. Talking about Shovel Knight. Okay. So, this entire area is also an obscure reference. This area is a reference to a Game Boy platformer by Sunsoft called Trip World. And one of the things you'll see around here are mutants that aren't moving but have a flower growing out of them. One of the moves that your character had in Trip World was to shoot a seed into enemies that caused them to grow a flower of peace that would keep them from moving or attacking you. Okay, about these enemies. These can take a ton of punishment from your vehicle weapons. There's nothing that can kill them quickly, except your blaster rifle, which can destroy them in one hit. So, you can either choose to fight these things slowly, but within the safety of your tank, or kill them quickly while risking the double damage from being on foot. We don't need to be here yet. I want to explore a little bit more. Boink. Don't shoot power-ups at me. That's rude. Oh yeah, one of the things about the charge tackle is that if you use it to attack enemies, it still counts as contact for purposes of regenerating special energy. So you lose special energy more slowly when using the charge tackle against enemies in this game. Okay, what's coming up next is going to take a bit to deal with, so I will be seeing you next time.